I wish I could record with my glasses on, but I can't because I can't figure out the lighting and the little reflection drives me insane. I want to talk about my favorite Dark and Twisty series. It is Savage and Ink, and I love it. It is written by Victoria Ashley, and she did fantastic with this series. Oh my god. All right, so these books do need a trigger warning. These books are definitely meant for mature audiences. There's vulgar language, there's violence, there's child abuse, there is substance abuse. There is also sexual assault and other sensitive topics that are talked about throughout the book. I like the dark and twisty, so what can I say? Let's start with the first book, which is called Royal Savage. Royal Savage is narrated by Samantha Cook and Lorenzo Matthews. I listened to the book. I mean, that's a given. That seems to be my thing. Now, this book is about Royal and Avalon. Royal has a very dark, fucked up past. In that past, brought out the monster that lives within him, and it makes him very alpha, dangerous, and he's out for revenge. Like, that is his path in life, is to get the revenge on what tore his family apart in the past. The backstory of it, just you understand where he's coming from and why he's the way he is. Now, on the other hand, you have Avalon, who is a nice girl. She has a little bit of a wild side. She doesn't let her wild side come out because of her past. So she tries to find a cookie cutter man that's boring and good to satiate her for her future. And obviously it doesn't work out, because she can't keep her attraction to Royal tamed, like, at all, which I understand. Especially because they keep getting thrown together, so, I mean, it is meant to spiral. This book is mainly about all of the twists and turns and the healing that they have to go through. Her for when some of Royal's past secrets come out, and for him because his past destroyed him so much, and there were so many secrets kept from him that come out throughout the book, and it's just heart-wrenching. Like, I cried because his family did some twisted shit to him. Like, bad. Let me just set some of the scene for you. He owns a tattoo bar shop. They're connected to each other, and the crowd is just really, really rough bikers. And there is drug deals, there is violence, and Royal's very rough around the edges. He doesn't fit in with his family. He doesn't really fit in anywhere, so he kind of created his own space with his best friends. And then you have Avalon, who doesn't really have a close relationship with her mother, so she gains a closer relationship with her uncle, and he's the one that practically raises her and tries to keep her on the straight and narrow. So you have those two very different scenes, and they kind of mesh together perfectly throughout the story, and they just work. They work so good. And the characterization throughout the whole book is fantastic. I really love how deep they get into it. That it's written in a past tense and present tense, which is I'm a big fan of that. And on top of that, you get 2 points of view. So you have Royal's point of view and Avalon's point of view. So it really works. It's just amazing. Okay, just read it. I don't know why people aren't reading or talking about this series, because it is so good. Let's move on to book 2. This book is narrated by Ross Raybert and Kristen James, and it is about Jackson and Alexandra. and Jackson is Royal's best friend. So this book is also in past tense and present tense. Jackson and Alexandra have a childhood together, and they both suffer from two very different environments. So Jackson's mom is an addict. He has a hard time growing up. He has to pretty much fend for himself and take care of his mom like she is the child. And then you have Alexandra, which has a very abusive household. Her dad is physically and verbally abusive towards her. So Jackson is pretty much her protector. So that's kind of a little bit of the history of it. It's part of the synopsis, so I didn't give too much away. But eventually the book carries on with Alexandra coming to her hometown, and she runs into Jackson, but they don't recognize each other. So the story kind of takes off from there, and it is so good. I don't want to give it all away. I mean, obviously, there's going to be secrets, twists, and turns, and them kind of growing as people. This one focuses more on the healing aspect from pretty much just for Alexandra. Jackson's the caregiver, but this really delves deep into healing as an addict and healing from a very traumatic past and how to move forward and having a support person. So I really think that that's a very important topic to talk about, and it just goes through the process of how she is able to overcome her misdeeds pretty much, and how to overcome and heal from her past. So I don't know. I thought it was really good. I want to talk a little bit about the narration for these books. For the first books, Lorenzo and Samantha did fantastic. Now, when I was reading the book, because I've read and listened to it, when I was reading a book, that is the type of voice I imagined for Royal. Like, it was spot on. And he can differentiate between different characters perfectly. Now, Samantha, on the other hand, was really good too, but she didn't differentiate between characters as well. So overall, the narration in this book was really doable, really enjoyable, and I highly suggest either listening to it or reading it. Now, for Beautiful Savage, with Ross and Kristen, it wasn't as good. Now, when I was reading the book, the characters' voices that were narrated for it just didn't match, in my opinion. I think that if they were to use Ross for Bane, which is another friend of theirs, it would be really good. I really hope that someday Victoria decides to write a book for Bane, because I would read that in a heartbeat like that. And she could use Ross for him, because I think that the voice would really match. And then Kristen, she wasn't bad. She's just not one of my favorite narrators. So for this book, for The Beautiful Savage, I suggest reading it instead of listening to the audio. But overall, the series is just fantastic, and I still don't understand why people aren't talking about it. Even the smut is fantastic. Like, the chemistry is just pouring out of the book. Alright, well, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye! Thank you!